Crypto Space. We are live, and it is Thursday at 11:28 a.m. on November 5th. I don't know what's going on with the election, but I know what's going on with crypto, and this space is hot, 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 red hot. You can't get any hotter right now. This is max hotness. And this was starting yesterday, the title of the stream. This is last night. Bitcoin rips through 2019 highs. What's next? Today's episode, as with all recent episodes, are sponsored by Change Angel, non-custodial swap exchange. Stop depositing on exchanges. Non-custodial, not your keys, not your crypto. Boom! Let's pop it over to the main screen and see what's going on. Whoa! So this just popped up. 19,500,000 thrown over to Binance, and Bitcoin is already at 15,254. Trend formation looks pretty good. I think at the top here, I think we're going to rip at least one more leg. I think we're going to do at least one more leg. I don't see any resistance yet. I don't see any hesitation. I don't see a double top. I don't see, like a lower high. I don't see any retrace hints yet in the price action. I just see just straight up bullish price action. Seriously, this break of this green line, this was 2019 highs. This was so meaningful, and this is so cool to see. This is an inverse head and shoulders leading up to the bullish break of the 2019 highs, and then just it was liftoff. It was 13,890, 14,900, $1,000 plus rip, over $1,200 plus for $1,300 plus rip so far. Absolutely incredible. Let's see who's in the house. We got Igor. What's up? Yeah, I know super chat needed. I need over 1,000. I got like 917 subscribers. I'm so close, but I just can't get that extra 83 subscribers, unfortunately. One day, sooner than later. John's in the house. What's up? J-Dog, when Bitcoin pulls back, alt's going to blow up. So bear in mind, I've talked about this. My philosophy isn't buy now and waiting for the Bitcoin pullback. I don't buy on dips. Well, bear in mind, let's put it this way. This I buy on dips. I buy the bull on dips. And that's what we did this entire DeFi season. The summer, the 4 months, May, June, July, August was fire. That's when you buy on dips. And right now, Bitcoin is ripping. This is bull market. Like this, man, this is where you buy in a dip. This retraces down here, look, even on the here. Let's go to the 1 minute. So if that hits that orange line, that is such a buy. And bear in mind, if you hit down here to like the 200 EMA on the 1 minute, and it bounces, oh my goodness, and that's where you buy. And let's look at the 200 EMA on the 3 minutes. So even if you rip down and you're down to here. Like the 200 EMA extends out there, something like that. That's where you buy. You buy this dip. This is where I buy the dip. I'm not buying altcoin dips, guys. This is not time to buy altcoins. I got Ren up here. I follow a bunch of altcoins, and I have a lot of altcoin positions that are bleeding. But you wait. Look, this is a support flipped resistance this morning, and this is so bearish. If I didn't have my dark nodes, I would be out of position. This is not the speculative play. This is not where you allocate value right now. This is bearish. But what you want is when, just as you say, J-Dog, when Bitcoin starts to dip and altcoins start to rip, what you want to see is a breakout, a retest, and then a higher high. And then right here, where you get that new higher high, slightly higher high, you see that? That's where you buy. That's where I buy. So I buy on the upside. So even for like curve, it's even steeper. So I'll buy after a 25% rip to the upside. You see that? So that is, and bear in mind, look, here's the 200 EMA on the daily. So that'd be an incredible, like if this chart, this is where you buy. Where you have a break to the upside of 200 EMA as well as a higher high print and a resistance flip support. Man, you wait for a 25% rip to the upside. This is called serious bullish confluence. But you also have to consider the macro landscape. How are other altcoins doing? How is Bitcoin doing? How is the global financial system doing? I do not buy the dip in a bear market. If something's getting crushed, look, this is down 80%, 70%, or whatever it's down. Massive numbers from all-time highs. but it doesn't mean I would buy now. You got to wait, and you buy when you have a high likelihood for continued price appreciation. Minimize risk, maximize gains, stop gambling, folks. That's been the story this entire summer. That's been the story. I mean, look at this bullish confluence. We got some serious momentum here on the Bitcoin dominance chart. It's pushing up against resistance. Man, if we snap to like 15.5, 15.8, 16, or even the 17 chip, and we break through this is obviously the weekly. So if we do like a weekly candle close, dare I say, on the Bitcoin dominance chart, woo, dare we do a resistance flip support? I can't. I can't. It's just, I, I, and look at that orange line. Look at that high right there. Look at that resistance. Oh man, there's some serious chart action going on the Bitcoin dominance chart, on the Bitcoin chart, and frankly, even the Ren chart. Love this chart. Love this asset. This is the best, possibly the best yield producing asset in the crypto space. I think Curve is ridiculous also, guys. You guys know my opinion. I've talked about it. Who else is in the house? We got Lewis, always a pleasure. Live episodes are back. Bam! Stops in the house. Stelios in the house. Bitcoin for president. Listen, anyone for president. Listen, the function and utility of the president is so far departed from anything actually really meaningful that occurs in the country. It's not a president. We don't have we have a government that has multiple branches, multiple parts, and multiple significant pieces. And no one has overwhelming power, so there's only so much meaning to a presidency. So the vast majority of what's going on politically in the United States is just it's social media, it's trends, it's like sport. It's a sporting event. It's turned into a sporting event where people have their teams and their affiliations, and it makes them feel good to be part of a trend. That's okay. You know, we'll see what happens. The problem is when it gets ugly. I mean, I don't. That's the thing that irks me is why is your party, is your trend, is your affiliation, is the cool group that you're with? Why does it get ugly? Can't we all just work together? I mean, I was in a fraternity in college, and we all work together to some degree. Why is there hostility between the fraternities? I don't remember that much. So why is there hostility in team sports or hostility in politics? Come on, grow up. We're a bunch of adults in this country, I believe. You know, it shouldn't be one team versus the other, and one team has to lose and fuck the other team. No, it's two good teams, people trying. Why does politics get so dirty and nasty? It's unfortunate. Frank's in the house. Always a pleasure. Let's take a look. I want to see what's going on on Twitter real quick. Daniel said there was who's short Bitcoin. There's a lot of people short. Why are a lot of people short? Because they're expecting this to produce a top at some point. Let's clear off these drawings. Boop. Let's clear off these drawings and let's zoom in and look on what's going on. I want to see what's going on here. Remove. We don't want this one either. We're on a really short time frame, guys. This is not really where technical analysis is done. But check this out. How do you like this? How do you like them apples? Look at that. You're going to draw a line right there. Boom, boom. You got a little sim triangle action going on. I didn't expect it, but we did. Yet another symmetric triangle. We'll see, but this is obviously very short term. There's not necessarily the case that price action is going to conform with this extremely tight. But what does it hurt to draw it? No. There's a bullish. A symmetric triangle is a trend continuation pattern. It is more likely than less that a symmetric triangle will break in the direction of the prevailing trend. Rather than a reversal pattern like a descending triangle or a rising wedge or something like that. So this is bullish, considering that the prevailing trend right now is ridiculously bullish. So bear in mind, though, this is what has me concerned, and we're probably going to start slowing down at some point, is the deviation from the 200 EMA. And I'm a big believer in mean regression. So bear in mind, mean regression basically means I believe that at some point we always revisit the average. So bear in mind on the 3 minute, it's only 3.25% to the downside. And if you zoom to the 5, I like to draw different time frames on different on the same chart. So if you zoom to the 5, you're around there. It's 4% to the downside. And then on the 15, oop, 15, probably right. Let's do this. You're about 7% to the downside. So we can have mean regressions. I mean, look, I was up this morning when it broke through the green line. There's no reason we can't have a mean regression about 7% to the downside, minus 1,000 points, and still be in ridiculously bullish mode. Ridiculously bullish mode. A dip of 7% on Bitcoin. That's how much it's ripped up. That's how far it's deviated from the average price action. And we're still incredibly bullish, ladies and gentlemen. We have 14,200. Absolutely incredible. It's like Duncan says Bitcoin dominance running into resistance will be rocket fuel for Ethereum. Yeah. Yes. Well, bear in mind, the Bitcoin dominance chart, the vast majority of altcoin action is Ethereum. It has the vast majority of the volume or market cap. So if we do hit resistance, that'll be meaningful with regard to Ethereum. I see Ethereum doesn't fit into the global financial narrative, the macro narrative of the financial system. Bitcoin does. It's a risk-off asset. It's a parity for gold, has functions of gold, has functions of a lot of things, as we all know. So it fits in, as Michael Saylor says, as a treasury asset for corporations, and it plays into central banks and pristine collateral, as Raul says. So that's not Ethereum. Ethereum is the disruptor. Ethereum is the network that is offering products and services that disrupt the legacy financial system, the banking system, and basically that's the DeFi protocols. So it's not that Bitcoin moves up and Ethereum moves down. I think I don't think I think they move mutually exclusive. I think Bitcoin could easily rip to the upside, and Ethereum doesn't necessarily have to dip. It's just that Ethereum stays about where it is, and maybe some liquidity moves from Ethereum over to Bitcoin. But I think Bitcoin is going to outperform Ethereum in the short term. What we will know is when Ethereum and DeFi and alt season starts to run. Because as we saw in September, and I made mention of it, risk off, where we saw a pronounced difference in the price action behavior of assets. So right now, if you sort by 24 hours, we have some nice bounces. That's really annoying when it does that. Reserve rights is ripping nice to the upside. Aave is ripping nice. But bear in mind, look, and this is why you can't look at the 24-hour. You have to look at the 7-day also. Down 18%, down 7%. Synthetics has been hammered. Oh, yeah, my beautiful synthetics. What a lovely asset. Well, 12.6 to the upside, but it's 20% for the week. It's actually nice to see some of these numbers, but I think these are more of bear market uh, positive price action. You'll see a lot of the financial folks say some of the most ferocious, positive, upward price action is in a bear market. Now, these assets, in my opinion, are very much in a bear market. Wrap Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Thorchain, when they actually have their mainnet, sure, I'll be more interested. But I'm not going to diversify, never spread too thin, can't go all in, so on and so forth. Here, what's interesting on this, what stands out, Celsius. Celsius is just ripping it. It's just new high, higher high, higher high, higher high. Absolutely incredible what Celsius has been doing. Mashinsky, the more and more he does AMAs, the more and more he speaks, um, the more and more I believe organizations, companies are trying to partner with what he's doing, and his goal is to disrupt the banking system. And I think that's cool. And BlockFi as well. From a company perspective, even though it's a centralized organization, I believe from a company perspective that is an honorable goal. And clearly he's a billionaire already from the other stuff that he's done. Absolutely incredible the other things he's done. Um, So he's not really in this for the money, as he said. He's in this to disrupt the legacy banking system because the legacy banking system is a piece of shit. It is an inferior product that I don't know why everyone it's the go-to give them your money. Yo, direct deposit to my Chase account, and you're gonna think, what is Chase gonna give you? Jack shit. Chase gives you jack shit. HSBC gives you jack shit. They give you nothing. What do? They take your money with ATM fees. Bunch of thieves. Stelio says, is the first time that the video is synced to the audio? You fix something? Not in particular. I'm happy it's synced. I've tried my best. I haven't changed any settings. I think it varies, but good. Good. I'm happy. Keep me posted. Let me know how the video and the audio is, if it's a little laggy. I'll try my best to adjust. I haven't really looked into it. I've kind of just been letting the settings roll over the last couple months, and they kind of just been decent. They've been decent. All right, if anyone on the stream has any questions, hit me up, because otherwise I'm going to just keep ranting and raving and monologuing. So I recently resubscribed to Real Vision, their lowest tier. Their content is second to none. Their crypto talks are incredible. And if you haven't heard Santiago Velez speak, absolutely incredible to watch his content. He has a piece in the crypto section. Here's Santiago. Absolutely incredible. One of the most enjoyable persons to hear speak. Raul was just all of them. Everyone's incredible. I mean, this is some of the most incredible content I've ever heard. And it's not just the crypto stuff. You're talking about the legacy financial system. This is just some of the most incredible content. This wasn't available when I was a kid. This is just modern streaming. Streaming wasn't available when I was a kid. Just having access to this is just priceless. These are the smartest people in the world. Way smarter than me, and I'm just merely paraphrasing what a lot of these folks say. And obviously I have my own opinions, but it's nothing compared to the breadth of expertise that these folks bring to the room, so to speak. Let's check in on Bitcoin. Bitcoin at 15,181. Look, you see, broke to the downside on the ultra short term symmetrical triangle formation. So now what we're looking for is a support. So go over to the horizontal line. Looks like we got a little bit of support there. We could throw in a little bit of support. Let's go one more orange line. One second. Let's do it. Let's throw it right about there. Yeah, so we got a little bit of support. Look, so we got a wick down, so that's nice support. Let's see what these wicks do. I think we have more bullish action in us for today. Man, this was some serious volume right there, and that ripped to the upside. But I think that's a nice pullback. Oh, this is good to see. That'd be nice to see if Ren gets back above support right there, guys. That'd be nice to see. So I got my eye on Bitcoin today. I got my eye on Ren, and I got my eye on Bitcoin dominance. Can't spread too thin on the charts. If you have too many charts up, it's going to drive you nutty. Ah. Stop says never noticed. Maybe the it's been not laggy. I try my best. I wish I had better hardware. I just don't. I'm happy enough that I have enough hardware to get live to you guys. Jay Young agreed. Watch those episodes as well. Great insight on the entire space. Nice deep dives. Brilliant. Some of them are brilliant. All of them are brilliant in their own right. The most incredible ideas and capacity to convey information, and just incredible. And Santiago, the way he speaks is just enjoyable. Dare I say, a bit intoxicating. The way he's able to craft his messages and convey his ideology and his thoughts. It's very impressive, to say the least. Bitcoin 10K retrace before 2021. Bitcoin 10K. Yeah, let's take a look at that. Check this out, guys. So here's our trend line. No, I don't see a Bitcoin 10. I see Bitcoin 10K region. Listen, here's the deal, guys. We have a new higher high here. Very much a higher high. That was a big rip to the upside. We very rarely in all history of Bitcoin ever, ever been in these price ranges. We could easily rip to the downside here, bounce off trend support, and print the new higher high. And, well, 10, 11, 10. I wouldn't go lower than here. You're not going to get down there. You're not going to have a crash. So upper tens are still on the table, guys. Upper tens, and that is extremely bullish. If this did this, if this bounced off here, whatever, 11 and change, that would be so bullish. And I've said this to you guys before. Bearish or downward price action could be incredibly bullish. So if you saw this downward price action and you saw a meaningful resistance hold, that is so bullish. You guys like how I crossed that out? It's kind of like March didn't happen. But look, that's what it is. It didn't happen. That was an event. That was called oh, a aberration. 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 A departure from what is normal. So this was an aberration. This was a departure from what is normal. Yes. So that's what I think, pellets. Duncan says, did you catch Raul on What Bitcoin Did podcast? I catch Raul on everything, man. Between his MMT, UBI, his bond analysis, his negative rates on bonds ideas, and his crypto, and he is one of the most enjoyable people to hear speak. Clearly, everyone on Real Vision is spectacular information, but him and Santiago are my favorites. Um, Michael Cero is kind of fun, but he he's a character. I like him. Perhaps chain link perspective, risk off, risk off. The alts will continue to bleed. There's no reason you'll know unless you have like a node, unless you're in an alt for recurring revenue. Like I'm in Curve for recurring revenue. Um, if I could have liquidated, I could have. I would have. If I would have Ren. If I could have liquidated, I would have on a dip through the 200 EMA on the daily. If this was a support flipped resistance, and it broke down, and to top it off, it broke down below the larger symmetric triangle support. This is so bearish, guys. This is not where you're buying at all, and this is not. This is you should have sold before. Quick to sell, picky, picky, picky to buy. Be quick, quick, quick to sell. You can always get back into a position, and when there's bearish price action, always don't fight the trend. The trend will always continue until there is a inflection point, until there's a capitulation, and that's what triggers the trend to go in the different direction. So if you're expecting Chainlink to start going up, I don't agree, and I don't. Some of the largest upward, as in 20% rips to the upside, will be in a bear market. It'll go 20% and then a lower high and then a lower low, lower high, lower low. I mean, look at this. Look, do you have to see? Look, lower high, lower high, lower low. It broke down. Here's a lower low right here. And now look, if it rips up to the upside, bam, there's a lower high and then a lower low. Come on, guys. Picky to buy, quick to sell. Yeah, no, we don't go back in time. Excuse me. At what price do you start accumulating stable coins? Yeah, this is complicated and it frustrates me because I'm tempted not to, just because of how much I hate fiat. And maybe that's a bias. And, that's the worst thing to have with regard to portfolio management and investing and financial strategy is a bias. You want to be objective. And it's not what you want to do. You're reacting to price action. You're reacting to the valuations of assets. And that really avoid emotion as best as possible. So, the appropriate thing is probably to start taking profits at some point. I don't know when. I don't know when I want to. Um, Maybe when I could sell like 5 Bitcoin for $1 million. Maybe I'd offload Fiverr. Something like that. 200 grand, quarter million, three, four, 500 grand of Bitcoin. I don't know. All I know is I hate fiat, and that is a very big motivation to give me some of the strongest hands in the game. I remember buying Bitcoin at $290. I sold at, so this is where I am. I sold at 560, probably about 100% gain. And recently, I had a certain amount of Bitcoin going into the DeFi season back in May. And then I was able to accumulate the same quantity of Bitcoin I had when I sold at the 590. So it kind of makes me feel like I've come around full circle, and I made myself whole. I got myself back to where I wanted to be. Kind of lucky, feel very lucky that I was able to do that. So I don't have an answer, Big Man. I just don't. It's going to be a tough one when we start seeing Bitcoin up at a quarter million. When do you start selling? I mean, listen, if we're up at a $250,000 of Bitcoin and we're about to print $10 trillion at the Treasury, come on, come on, that's not when you sell it all. If they're going to print 10 trillion at the Treasury, that's maybe when you buy Bitcoin at a $250,000 a piece. Whew, could you imagine buying a tenth of a Bitcoin for 25 grand, a hundredth of a Bitcoin for $2,500 because the Treasury is about to print $10 trillion? That's what you should do. If they're going to print 10 trillion, you buy Bitcoin as much as you can if it's a $250,000 of Bitcoin. That's what $10 trillion print of the Treasury means. Richard says Real Vision is on point, and I find it interesting that their audience is highbrow, and I believe it's bringing typical crypto Philistines to rethink their opinion. Absolutely incredible, the content. The content is breathtaking, especially having access to it. Historically, we would have never had access to these types of minds and their narratives and stories that they tell. It changes everything having access to the Real Vision. Got my Real Vision subscription the other day. That's right. Maybe I should have thrown out like a referral code or something. But man, I love it. I went pro for a while because I wanted to see some of that content. But I recently got back my essentials because I want the crypto and I want to hear Raul on the weekly. I'm not too interested in traditional financial investments, but I follow him as much content as he provides at the tier that I am. But I'm not going to start placing bond trades, and I'm not. It's just not for me. Not for me. I have my equity bets, but it's just not. Raul's. He's a traditional finance guy. Brilliant. Not for me. Did you know that Santiago is an XRP fan? Yeah, he is. I mean, technically, I'm an XRP fan too. I mean, bear in mind, I'm pretty sure he agrees. He's an XRP fan, I'm an XRP fan, and I think we both think there's absolutely no reason whatsoever for the price of the asset to actually go up. So there's the deal. That's the deal, Igor. I'm an XRP fan. I think that is super fast, really cool. This cool tech. I think there's zero reason whatsoever for the price to actually go up. That's the deal. Nickman, a quarter mil per Bitcoin. Did not expect that answer. Yeah, man, come on. They just printed 6 trillion. No matter who gets into presidential office, they're going to print trillions more, and they'll be forced to print trillions more as other countries are printing because the debt burden is unsustainable. And the only way you combat a deflation is to attempt inflation, which you can't do. They're going to have to print like $100 trillion and go full on like digital CBDCs. Otherwise, you can't disseminate it. They tried their best back in March with the swap lines, trying to get the dollars to other countries, but it's impossible to disseminate. The Fed had the swap lines so they could send dollars to other central banks, but they had no way to get dollars to international corporations and small people that had dollar denominated debts. So they were unable to prop up the implosion of debt, the deflation of debt, because they couldn't get the stimulus to where it was needed. And that's essentially why all the countries around the world are going CBDC. Because that it avoids the banks, it avoids the traditional financial system hierarchy and structure that is now proving to be resistance and impeding the optimal flow of liquidity in a time when MMT is just the prevailing trend. Uh, and what is MMT? It's basically where the Fed and the Treasury have complete control over the financial system, where they could literally send money where it's needed in order to make the numbers, the M2 velocity, which is on the floor, it's basically zero. They could jack up M2 velocity by, whatever. Folks who listen in on Real Vision know what they're planning, with the Fed accounts and the direct stimulus to people and like an expiry. If the Fed gives you $2,000 a month and says you have 2 weeks to 1 month to spend this, otherwise you lose it, that's going to get M2 velocity to go through the roof, and that's going to get GDP off the floor. So that's where they're heading. It's inevitable. Almost everyone agrees that it's inevitable that MMT, Fed accounts, and CBDCs are just a matter of time at this point. Yeah, by the time Bitcoin is at a quarter mil, there should be layer two solutions. Yeah. Oh, man, layer two solutions for Ethereum between whether it's Ethereum 2.0 or layer two or both or whatever Ethereum is going to evolve into. It is the central focus for the disruption of the legacy financial system, period. The Ethereum will not be disrupted in the short term, and that's based on historical precedent. Lyft will not disrupt Uber. It took Apple 20 years to disrupt Microsoft. Um, an ongoing disruption is not disrupted in the short term. It's not going to happen. And I've showed you the DeFi rate charts for Uniswap and Ethereum and Curve. It's just not going to get. They're not going to get disrupted. The Curve is huge. None of the other AMMs are going to disrupt it, nor Uniswap. It just is what it is. So you can't fight the trend. So Ethereum is not going to get disrupted by Polkadot or Cosmos. Cosmos is going to be massive because IrisNet is baked into the BSN as an interop solution for the BSN, and the BSN is China's national blockchain initiative. The U.S. has nothing, by the way. That's how pathetic it is going on right now. And Polkadot is just ridiculously awesome. It's fundamentally different than Ethereum, and it's going to be incredible. It's not going to. I don't see it disrupting Ethereum just because of historical precedents and how ongoing disruptions play out historically. Yeah, let's wrap it up in a couple minutes. Michael Angelo says, "Damn, I'm late, my man. It's all good. Tomorrow will be another day. It's 12:01 on a Thursday." I want to finish up the comments. Pellet says, "New alt season after Bitcoin all-time high." Well, don't put time frames on it nor price action on it. An alt season is inevitable, and as I say, we will see it. We'll see it in the 24-hour change on CoinGecko. If we start seeing coins ripping 20%, 20%, 20%, 20%, that's when you could take 50% of your money that's in Bitcoin and slam it into Aave for a 20% rip to the upside in a couple of days. That's when you take 50 grand and you get 20% in a couple of days. Make a quick 10 grand. And you do that 2-3 times a week and you're making 30 grand a week. So you got to wait, though. You got to wait for the resistance flip support, for the higher high. You got to wait for the entire market to enter a period of irrational exuberance where you have a high likelihood, just basically an undeniable likelihood that the price action is going to go in a particular direction. And that's when you throw around money, because that's when you're going to make gains. And right now, that's the deal with Bitcoin. This is where the gains are going to be made. This is where lives are going to be changed. This is where you don't buy right now. This shit just ripped 1,000 points, $1,000, $1,000, U.S. whatever, U.S. You don't rip it right now. You don't get in right now. What you do is you wait for a dip. You wait for a mean regression. I had the prices before. Here, look. You go to the 3. You look for a mean regression down to here, down to here. You look for a resistance hit. You look for the resistance hit. Look, even a resistance hit on the orange line. Well, I believe, or even on these orange lines are a good deal. And you look for a bounce because this thing's going to keep on going unless there's capitulation, unless there's an obvious trend direction shift. Don't fight the trend unless the trend breaks down. That's the bottom line. Whoop whoop. That's right, Nathan. Always a pleasure. Stelio says, "You think for BNT it's exit time?" I exited a while ago. It was horrible. Sorry, BNT. Love you, Bancor. Love your V2.1. The governance is off the hook. I mean, the governance on Bancor, they got some serious participation. That's really cool. But unfortunately, the price action is destroyed. Had to exit. Um, Stelio says 2.1 didn't look to change anything for the moment. By the way, MetaMask swaps look awesome. Yeah, that's cool. You Metaswap. MetaMask swaps just incorporated basically Uniswap and a bunch of other stuff. I don't know about the no trading fees. I don't know about that. Maybe they're just subsidizing it. Like, oh my God, what 0x is 0x swap? What's it called? I can't believe I can't remember it. Zero X's zero X's ZRX's uh they're liquid AMM. Anyway, always a pleasure, everybody. 12:04 a.m. 12:04 a.m. 12:04 in the afternoon on Thursday, November 5th. It's the pain meds kicking in. Thank you all. Smack the thumbs up button. Hit subscribe. Tell everyone to hit subscribe. And I'm going to see you tomorrow. We're going to keep this bullish price action going on Bitcoin. That'll be exciting. Y'all have a good one now. Peace.